Stage Left Planet, and I'm your host, Warita Wimbush. I've written 2 articles on my blog, Stage Left Planet, on WordPress, addressing the subject of the industry of influence. The first blog discusses industry of influence, expert versus mascot versus grifter. The second article discusses the industry of influence and the God and you should be your biggest influencers. The industry of influence, God and you should be your biggest influencers. Expert versus mascot versus grifter discusses the differences between each and how you can fall prey to all 3. Okay, an expert is a person who generally provides information, services, methods, products to help others, even if they charge for them. Okay, it's to help others. And they can be deceptive too, as well, in their promotion of the thing which they are selling. They can be deceptive as well. Now, the mascot is a person who represents a public or private entity, or the interest of a public or private entity, as if they have specific knowledge of the product, service, method, or whatever that entity is selling, and that they actually care and have a vested interest beyond money, which oftentimes they don't. They don't care beyond getting paid to represent that the product, the merchandise which they are selling, okay? And the grifter is a person who basically is a huckster. They will take something and they basically devalue whatever it is that they are representing. So if you have something serious, if it's a serious cause or something that's important, do not do business with a grifter, because they are going to devalue it. They will turn it into a fad or a joke. They will make it where it's not even taken seriously anymore. So beware of the grifter. That square, that's the shadow of my phone. So ignore that. My fro is on Bappity Boys vibes today. I love it. Anyway, that is the topic of that first one. Now the second one is you and God. God and you should be your biggest influencers. This is because God knows you. He made you. God knows what's best all around. He is omnipotent. He is almighty. And he knows what's best. Period. He knows what's best. Period. He knows what's best for you. And you need to know you so that you won't be manipulated by grifters into accepting a vision and goals and products, services, whatever they're selling that is not your own. It doesn't fit you. You don't need it. And you don't need to be convinced by those people that you need what they are selling, okay? You don't need to be convinced by those people that you need what they even selling. So, honestly, just don't be taken in by those people. God, in his infinite wisdom, knew that we would be encountering people like that. And he used the false prophets who prey on people and make merchandise out of people for their own personal gain. He used them as an example. Well, not even as an example. He spoke through Peter to warn us about those types of false prophets and to be honest, it extends to people who, even though they may not be a prophet, that is how they are. They prey on you for their own personal gain. Okay, they will prey on you for their own personal gain. Do not be prey to them. Okay, do not let them make merchandise out of you. Okay, many people have been made merchandise of, particularly after they have passed on. Many people, look at Aaliyah, but no, at one point Aaliyah, they were trying to do a 3D holographic concert using her image. Same thing happened with Tupac and Michael Jackson. Do not let these people use you or make merchandise out of you, okay, for their own personal gain, because it doesn't just stop with them selling you a product and getting your money. It's gonna be where they exploit you to continue to promote their product. Okay? These types of tactics, these things will lead into idolatry. When we saw that with, and not that Michael Jackson was exploiting his fans, that is not what I'm saying at all. But when it comes to marketing, I will say, if you look at, and I used to be, and still kind of am, I have a fondness, still have a fondness for Michael Jackson. But when you look at his fans or anybody with, maybe overly loyal and dedicated fans, their admiration turns into idolatry. Their admiration turns into idolatry when it becomes where that fan wants to be like that person, be like that person, be that person, be with that person in an unhealthy way, like that person is theirs, in a possessive way, and not in a romantic type way either. So be careful, because that type of, especially high pressure sales tactics that get used in conjunction with marketing and advertising. Be careful, okay? Because you will be sitting there looking crazy, busted and disgusted. Wow, with no money, you won't have your money, but the person who sold you some foolishness will be living easy and living good. So, off of your dime. So, don't fall for it, okay? Don't fall for it. And no, just don't fall for it. Don't fall for it at all. So, this is Stage Left Planet. I'm your host, Warita Wimbush. We are discussing the industry of influence. And from there, we will be discussing various other topics as well. And I'm thinking of doing individual promos for each article discussing the industry of influence. I'm thinking of doing that. I'm not quite certain yet. I will let you know. But until then, this is Warita Wimbush. This is Stage Left Planet. Have a blessed day and focus